la, 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 la. What was I? Sorry. I was watching some Facebook stuff. I watch Facebook stuff and it makes me laugh or chit chat or talk about what I'm watching. And I forgot what I was going to say. What was this talk about? Oh, yeah. Somebody was saying that people like Benny Hinn have to get a legal agreement to put people on television. Well, I don't know if they have to get a legal permission for people on TV or something, but there have been people that have gotten miracles on this earth, and then they have thought or said, my queen, my queen, my queen, and said they really didn't want to be blasted on television like that. But they didn't have a choice. So I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe they do have contracts. Maybe they don't. Maybe they decide. Maybe they tell you stuff. I don't know. But I do know a basic law and rule. And I learned this from a preacher. There was a small-time preacher. And a guy walked in with a video camera. And he said, I just want to kind of, record your sermons because, like, they make people pretty happy. And, I kind of like them at home when I want to, like, maybe take it to the hospital when somebody's suffering or something. And the preacher said, did you know that when you walk into a church, I have the legal right to record anything or do anything, but you don't have any right to do anything without formal permission. So that's how I learned you can do whatever you want as a preacher, because I guess there's some understanding that when you walk in, you have a legal right to videotape your own sermons or something. But I guess when you're just an average person walking into the sermon, it's not necessarily legal to be recording the sermon. Didn't know about that. Yeah, it was a guy. He wanted to video record certain really emotional sermons. The guy was well known for very emotional stories about very sad things. And he thought it'd be really nice at hospitals for people that are, sitting right next to their dying relatives to kind of be inspired to listen to a sad story that actually worked out good or something through his sermons. But, I guess you can't do that. Or, you can't just walk in and do that. I guess you got to pick and choose. I also learned once from a detective that you can walk in and video and record and audio anything or anyone if you feel you need to. So when a courthouse says you cannot record anything, but that judge has been abusing you, you actually have a legal right to put hidden video and audio to prove that judge is hurting you and not being legal. Because the courts and the country allow it. The courts in the country allow it because there's no way to catch a corrupt judge. They don't tell the truth. And their criminal processes happen in a closed court way too often. So you can take hidden ways to catch bad guys. Now, there was a legendary CPS judge. She was I think she was the Riverside Juvenile Court judge. So this lady at the Riverside Juvenile Court told me, fuck you, these murdering rapists will murder and rape this child. And gave the children to murdering rapists. Jesse's family. Their insides are exploding until it's sickening beyond words. They realize they don't get the privilege to ever die. One of their relatives thought or said, my queen, my queen, my queen. I realize that she'll never stop dying for what she's done to the grandchildren of God. But when does she actually get to have any peace or die? And I said, well, remember the book of Revelations? The end of the world has no peace unless you get out. It's part of the end of the world to never understand life or happiness again. What they did against me and those poor grandchildren of God, which I don't know if I was raped and murdered and they just came out of my womb, but that doesn't matter. God treated them like God's grandbabies. And the prosecutions, the punishments are massive because for all they knew, it was God's grandchildren. They knew I came back to life over and over. They knew I came straight from God. Well, the times are scary. So I just explained to her, the day that she has any beautiful, amazing moment, she gets to go to hell and not be paraded around and degraded because of what she did. That's the only thing that she ever has to look forward to. The lady started trying to defend her relative, and I showed what happened to those children when she, as a judge, got the kids away from me so the raping murderers could rape and murder them without stopping. That relative knew she'll never, ever, ever get out of